Hey, all right, it's story time. And I'm going to get real deep. I'm going to tell you how I went crazy one time when I was on drugs and homeless. And I can smile about it now, but it's about to get heavy. So, trigger warning. If you've been on the streets, if you have dealt with psychosis at all, if you have dealt with street life, prostitution, drugs, just trigger warning for you. But I feel like it's what God is asking me to do, tell you my story. So here we go. In 2012, I was addicted to methamphetamines and Percocets. And I was going so hard. I was on the streets and doing everything that you do on the streets, right? And I went into psychosis. I was severely malnourished. I was doing all kinds of substances, whatever I could get my hands on, and I switch flipped, right? And my mind just went into psychosis. And today I can say that it's the best thing that ever happened to me, and God used it. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So in 2012, I'm on the streets for about 4 months, homeless. And by the time my mind starts to believe just some things that were not actually happening in life, I get a really bad cold and I get sick. Well, because I was sick and also going into psychosis, I believed that I was so sick that I was going to die soon. And I firmly believed this. I had done lots of research on Google, which helped. And I firmly believed that I was going to die soon. And I begged my daughter's dad to let me visit her because I was out there, right? So I hadn't seen her in a long time. And I was just super scared that I would not see my daughter before I died. So I really believed this. I was doing my best to accept the fact that I was living my last days. And everything on Google was telling me that I was going to die, like, very soon. So, it is so cold. I'm shaking, and also a little nervous. So, my daughter's dad brings her to me. And as I am in psychosis, believing that I'm super sick and I'm going to die soon, when he brings her to visit me, I also begin to believe that the end of the world is happening with all that's going on in the world. And they were going to be raptured. My daughter's dad believed in Jesus. He had talked to me about God before, and I just didn't really cling on to it. And I knew my daughter was 2 years old, so super young. And in my mind that day, I felt like the end of the world is coming. They're going to be raptured, and I'm going to hell because I don't believe in God. And I had this realization, and everything in my world was telling me that this was the truth. Everything in my mind, my God allowed me to believe this so that I would get a really clear revelation of what my life is. So it's so cold. So I visit her. I'm going to try to keep this still. So I visit her, and I had been through so much on the streets. I mean, from drug dealers to pimps trying to pick me up to all the things that you go through. Sleeping outside, not having any food, no shoes, no nothing. So I was at my bottom for sure. So he takes her back home, and I'm still thinking like it's the end of the world. I may not ever see her again, and I'm super sad about her going back to wherever she was staying at that time. So while he is taking her back, I am outside because I have nowhere to live, and I'm walking around screaming at God. Because now, at this point, I know that I don't believe in God. I know that I'm going to hell. My daughter and her dad are going to be raptured. They're going to heaven, and I'm not. And I'm 22 years old, and I'm super sick, and I'm going to die soon. So I just start screaming out to God, and I'm walking around outside, and I'm one of these crazy people that you see, right, talking to themselves. But I was really screaming out to God. I didn't know I was talking to God, but I was screaming out to God and saying, like, what is my life? I've lived 22 years. I got taken away from my parents. I've been sexually abused. I've been physically abused, rejected, heartbroken beyond what I could have ever imagined. And now I'm 22 years old and I'm going to die. And that's it. That's all my life is. And I was really mad at God. Like, if you're ever mad at God, like, just be real with him and just tell him like it is, because he will meet you right there. So I'm angry and I'm screaming at him, like, how could you do this to me? I didn't do anything. I didn't ask for this. And now I'm just going to die and my life is over. And at the same time, I'm like angry that I'm 22 and I've felt almost nothing but suffering. I'm also realizing, like, I'm on the streets because of, like, my own choices. I am on the streets because I have made choice after choice after choice that has gotten me here. And I have no friends, I have no family, and I don't even have shoes at this point because of what I've done and my own choices. My daughter's dad and I had lost our business, and it was because of choices, right? So, I am so cold, but we're almost done. So I'm having this deep regret. Like, God, if I could only choose again, how differently I would have chose. I don't want to die. And I'm scared, and I wish I would have made different choices because I'm suffering, and a lot of it is because of where I'm at now, and now my life is almost over, and I just wish I could do it again. And like I'm seeing pictures of different things in my life, different choices, different circumstances where I could have went this way and I went that way instead, you know? And I just get this gut-wrenching regret. Like, man, if I only had a second chance, you know? And secretly, I'm asking God for a second chance. And little did I know, he allowed me to go crazy. He allowed me to think that the world was ending and that the rapture was going to happen right now. He let me realize that I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in Jesus, and that I was going to hell. He allowed me to feel that. He allowed me to believe that I was going to die in a couple days. And he allowed that pain so that I would get to the point of, like, God, this is not what I want. This is not my life. This can't be my life. Would you just please give me a second chance? And he did. And he did. And 2 weeks later, I meet Jesus in my bedroom. And I have this radical encounter with God. And I'm running out of time, so I'll have to make another video to tell you how I end up meeting Jesus. But I had no idea I was talking to God that night. I was kind of just screaming out to whoever would listen. Somebody up there. I kind of figured there was someone, but I didn't know that I was talking to God. And he heard me. Like, he heard my cry. He heard the pain that I was going through. He heard my regrets. And he came just like 2 weeks later and answered my request for a second chance. So I can't wait to tell you the rest of this story. Keep watching.